Welcome to the Chabad Center of Lexington. I wish we could all be meeting here at better times. The horrific act that took place in Mumbai, India, last week still is very much in our visual thoughts as we watched on TV the last week. Well, we're here tonight to talk about the events and to memorialize the people that were victims of despicable acts in the Chabad house in Mumbai. I want to mention that there were close to 200 other victims whose souls we need to memorialize also. We shall not forget them. About 2,000 years ago, Rabbi Akiva, one of our great Talmud scholars, said on the pasuk on a line of the Torah, Mocha, love your fellow, love your neighbor, love your fellow Jew, as you would want to be loved yourself. And he said, after that, Zeh Kla Gadol B'Torah. That's the most important tenet in the Torah. I've lived in Lexington 25 years. 12 years ago, I took my first step into this Chabad house. Never having met anyone involved with the Chabad Lubavitch movement, having passed their Chabad house in Ann Arbor, Michigan while I was going to graduate school there, but never stepping inside. And I came one day at my wife's urging to come to a show, come to services on a Saturday morning. And I walked in, and there was a meeting, and there was a service, and there was a kiddush, food, wine. Afterwards, talked to a few people, and went home. And said it was a good service. Met the rabbi, nice guy seems. And that was about it. 3 days later, I got a phone call from the rabbi. And he said, Danny, I'm sorry I didn't have more time to talk to you, but if there's anything I can ever do for you, if there's anything you ever need, if you need help with anything, I'm here for you. And I said, thank you very much. That is the Chabad thought, tying into loving your fellow. Just being there to help a Jew for whatever reason that person needs. I've been struck in the 12 years since that first time I walked in here. Number one, of all the Chabad houses throughout the world, I'm sure some of you people don't even know that there's a Chabad house in New Orleans that was the only Jewish organization that never left during Katrina. The rabbi stayed, the rabbi made phone calls to make sure that everyone in that community was okay, made sure that if anyone had any needs, whether it be kosher food or service or a million, if he could put one together for someone in need, that he was there. And he didn't leave. I'm sure many of you don't know about the Chabad house in Thailand. 3 years ago, when the tsunami hit, I think it was 3 years ago, when the tsunami hit, they never left. They provided aid. They never stopped asking people if they needed help. It wasn't just the Jews, they helped more than the Jews, but the main focus for a Chabad house is the Jewish community. They didn't leave. Another fact you probably don't know, it's not talked about much, but 2 summers ago, the Second Lebanese War, Chabad was the only Jewish organization outside of Tzahal, the Jewish armed forces, that crossed the border, bringing aid and food and gifts and help for the soldiers who were fighting there. No politics involved, just helping the Jews in need. bring us to Mumbai. What's a Chabad house doing in Mumbai? Well, first of all, there's a small Jewish community there. Second of all, Israel and India have very close ties, political, cultural, commercial ties. And a lot of Jewish businessmen travel in and out. And people who, whether they keep kosher or whether they need service or whatever their Jewish needs are at the time, it was serving them. The act that took place last week, we don't know. Why did it happen? For what purpose? If anyone has a chance, I surfed the web the last few days, and I happened to watch the Levaya, the funeral of the Rabbi and Rebbetzin of Gabi and Rivka Holzberg. And I don't remember the rabbi's name off the top of my head, who is in charge of sending shluchim, emissaries, from the Chabad community out throughout the world. And he said, and this, he wasn't the only one who said it, so if you go on the internet, you'll see many websites and many emails with the same thought. He said, we cannot ask why. We cannot think revenge. All we can do, metaphorically, is to light a candle. To light a candle in the darkness. That metaphor is about doing a mitzvah. About loving your fellow and treating that person as you would want yourself to be treated as a Jew. So tonight, first of all, I want to welcome people from the community who are here. I want to welcome Reverend Judith Brain from the Pilgrim Congregational Church. I want to welcome Executive Pastor Bill Burke from Grace Chapel. I want to welcome Rabbi Jacobs and Rabbi Lerner from Temple Amunah and Rabbi Japin from Temple Isaiah, who have come in an act of solidarity to memorialize these souls, because they're in a place now where their good deeds and in their short lives, they did many, where their good